Wouldn't it be nice if government ran just a bit more like a business? I mean, they're not the same thing, don't get me wrong. I understand that. But what if they took on at least some of the concepts of business? Take, for example, what our government is, how it's structured, if you will. We're a democratic republic, which is a combination of democracy and republicanism. That means that essential power is held by the people. The people we elect are elected to make decisions on our behalf. We're a representative democracy where those we elect represent our interests. Well, in theory, right? Because there are countless examples throughout history when the interests of the people have been denied or ignored. The slap in the face or the kick in the butt is that often these decisions come without any real consequence. We know what happens when someone goes to Washington. Suddenly it's not about us, it's about them. They put on smiles and wave their fingers at cameras and tell us, I know you want this thing, but here's why we know better. You can't have it. We don't elect people to represent us as parents. We elect people to be our voice, to be an extension of the majority by proxy. We all understand that our interests are non-binding. In other words, we, the people, do have the ultimate power, but we also understand we don't operate the levers. That's the difference between a democracy and a democratic republic, right? If we were a true democracy, we, the citizens individually, would decide the laws and vote on the major issues. When you think about it, our system, and this is how most by, for, and of the people governments work, it makes sense. If the citizens had to vote on everything, this would hardly be practical. I actually don't think a system like that could work. The thing is, in order for the system we have now to work, is that our representatives have to listen to the people. In reality, they weren't necessarily elected as they were hired. And when you hire someone, it's only natural that one is going to constantly evaluate that hire's performance on the job and determine whether or not they remain a good fit that aligns well with what our needs are. In business, any good businessman understands one thing. He has only one boss, the customer. It's his business and he can make any decision he wants to, but if the customers don't like the decisions he makes, they won't buy what he's selling. In order to stay in business, it's more important to listen to his customers than to necessarily do whatever he wants. There's a certain intuition that goes along with that. The business can determine what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong based on how the customer responds with their wallets. Congressional approval right now stands at a paltry and almost embarrassing 21%. That means that a staggering 79% of the constituency doesn't like what our elected officials are doing. If our entire halls of Congress were Starbucks, they'd be packing their beans up. They'd be dismantling their roasters. And yet, even with consistently low approval ratings, how many of these failed politicians continue to hold their seats, election after election, never delivering on anything, never doing the work, never satisfying the voters, turning an almost defiant blind eye to our interests? Business responds to customer demands because it matters to them, because staying in business depends on it. They constantly evaluate customer trends, and the decisions they make are determined by how customers react to what they do. There's a real consequence if they get it wrong. Not listening to their customers is fatal. Voters, like customers, aren't necessarily quiet. Congress and frankly the entire government, along with independent agencies, poll nonstop. Our elected officials know what the voters want. I don't think there's ever a lot of mystery there. So why don't they listen? Our elected officials, don't they get it? It's a democratic republic. They can have all the ideas they want. They can think they have the better ideas. But do they? 21% approval ratings say very clearly they don't. They're not supposed to be representing their individual desires. They're supposed to be representing us. Brian Nickel can think, people are going to love my cherry vanilla mocha latte, but if no one drinks it, it doesn't matter what he thinks. The customers rule. Again, business and government are different. There's more at stake for the American people regarding the decisions that are made. They have world implications. Sometimes the government does have to make unpopular decisions for the greater good. We all get that too. I'm not trying to oversimplify things here. But there are issues where voters speak very loud and clear, and I think it's important for our elected officials to listen more keenly on them, especially issues that have vast majority support or dissent. These are the things that matter to us, and they should at least work harder on listening to those things and taking action on them. At that point, the talking points from the podium should change to, we hear you loud and clear, and we're going to do what you ask of us. We're going to do the job you hired us to do. Because again, the power belongs to the people. The job of our representatives is not to deny us. It's to do what we ask them to do. We don't want a cherry vanilla mocha latte. We want a salted caramel one. Throw the cup down all you want. Tell me endlessly how good it is. I still have no interest in drinking it. And if you want me to come back and give you my business, the next time I ask for a salted caramel, that's what I should get. And if I don't, you're going to be put out of business. Look, I get it. There are things that some people are more prone to understand better. That's why we hire lots of professionals in all aspects of our lives. Lawyers, doctors, financial advisors, consultants on a variety of things. We rely on their expertise. When they say no to our wishes, we trust they know better and we can moan about it a little, but we give them the benefit of the doubt. Because, hey, they're the professionals. They are privy sometimes to things we're not. But we also expect results. We have to not only be told what's in our better interest, we have to see that they were right. Time and time again, we don't get that from our government. We don't feel like we're getting the better end of the deal here. We're told no more than we're told yes. In order for our system of government to truly work, the power of the people needs to be clear. There has to be consequence for inaction. There has to be a clear line drawn by the voters. And the people we elect to represent us have to be aware that the power they have to make decisions is not absolute. It is afforded because the people gave it to them, with trust and confidence that they would truly represent us, we the people. When the polls tell our representatives that 80% of the people want something, it's no longer for them to debate. It's for them to simply get it done.